Who do you want standing on that line? Who do you want standing next to those police officers?
If his policies take hold, he will run it into the ground.
The NYPD is a racist, anti-queer, major threat to public safety?
Let's hop into Fox News The 5 discussing Zohran Mamdani and Democratic policies in New York that they want to pretend would never work. So we'll get ready to debunk some nonsense. Leave us a like first on the video if you can. It lets us know you enjoy this kind of content, and we'll get right to it.
As mayor, I will lead calls to ensure that we pass the legislation necessary beyond New York, such that every New Yorker can rest assured that we need not prepare for the next iteration of this horrific mass shooting.
So he's not even mayor of New York, and he's already making laws for the country. Harold, it's good to have you back at the table.
Glad to be back.
So I think for New Yorkers, they have to ask themselves, who are they electing? You know, the hard left is expecting the pre-candidate communist, and the typical liberal will tell themselves wishfully, no, he's evolved.
The right-wing party in this country, after a shooting, rushing to defend not the victims, but the guns. I mean, who would have thought? It's not even a radical idea to want to ban assault weapons. It's just the common sense one. The data is pretty strong at this point. More guns equals more gun crime. Relaxed gun laws equals more gun ownership. The logical conclusion of this is that relaxed gun laws lead to more gun crime. When you throw assault weapons in the mix, these shootings only become more deadly. Obviously, handgun crimes happen more because they're more accessible. This is also a problem in and of itself, but it's not a binary where we can only focus on one, and it's the totality of damage in which this becomes not even close. The last 5 mass shootings were all done by assault weapons. Shootings in general become 2 or 3 times more deadly just from high-capacity magazines. It's like 4 or 5 times more deadly with other components of assault weapons, and this is why it's the much more pertinent issue. It's long past time to get them off the street. Those in blue states shouldn't fall victim to gun crimes because poor red states have bad gun policy. The iron pipeline should no longer be allowed to exist.
Who do you want standing on that line? Who do you want standing next to those police officers who are at attention as they watch the body of one of their own walk by? Is it this young man who said, we don't need an investigation to know that the NYPD is a racist, anti-queer, major threat to public safety? Not just I don't like them. He thinks they're the violent problem of the country. And then he said clearly, what we need is to defund the NYPD.
Okay, first off, the NYPD is absolutely racist and anti-queer. Like I could point to a long list of instances that would support that statement. And this is not just unique to the NYPD, it's police units in general, the way policing is done. It's a massive problem with it. He was objectively right there. I do understand why in the midst of an election where he will now be over the NYPD, you have a different obligation to kind of tamper that message and be more welcoming to work with them, right? And not ostracize them. But of course, you know, the straight white woman on this panel probably just thinks bigotry is made up. This is why the right is annoying. Also, they're talking about defund the police here. And it's because they play semantics instead of substance on everything. And when you do it to everything, it's going to stick on some things, largely because defund the police was admittedly a bad slogan because of how vague it was as a name. It didn't convey the message in as simple of words as which should be the point of slogans, right? It was never about mass layoffs, stripping the police clean, but instead defunding the militarization of the police, things like Cop City, in place of social reforms and programs, enhanced de-escalation training for officers, things that would actually address the real issues and tensions that officers and those needing the services of officers were experiencing, which is again, much needed and objectively correct. There's not an argument you can make against that. The defund the police slogan was coined to make a point about the defunding happening in education, which of course just went over MAGA's head as well.
I think what depresses me is that when you look at the states of every blue city, LA, Minneapolis, Chicago, Portland, Seattle, they're all one-party sanctuaries for lefties. It's going to happen. Like, why can't other cities look at these cities and go, we can't do that, we can't do that, but they're going to do it. Because this guy is bad, if not worse, than Chicago's mayor.
I mean, we've had a bad mayor. 1 mayor ago, Bill de Blasio, and everyone thought that, you know, this is as bad as it gets. And, you know, I've said this a few times, compared to what Mamdani will be, not what he could be, because this is not theoretical. He has telegraphed exactly what he wants to do with the city. And if his policies take hold, he will run it into the ground.
As these clowns talk about Democratic candidates running cities into the ground, pretending they have like bad economics, it's important to point out again that blue states quite literally subsidize red states. Red states are poor because Republican economics are dog shit. Our economy is literally carried by the blue cities that these people love to shit on and pretend they don't know what's going on. Blue states quite literally pay more in federal taxes than their states receive back. Yes, even after the SALT deduction, which is maybe one of the dumbest points MAGA tries to make, is they're against taxation, but then preventing double taxation is a handout. But again, red states, on the other hand, receive more from the federal government than they pay it. But these are the same people crying about welfare and handouts. Meanwhile, their state economies, cultivated by their bad economic policies, quite literally rely on welfare from blue states to survive. You can't write irony better. If you drive on a road in a red state, thank New York. Thank the Democrats, because it damn sure isn't MAGA economics that got you the revenue to build that infrastructure.